Hello and good morning, Awesome Life 101. Hope you've been having a good week.
Good morning, everybody.
We are here today to talk about neutralizing negativity, negative energy coming from within or from without, and how to deal with it and how to neutralize it so that you can go along enjoying your day. And this topic came up for me a lot last week. I had some negative influences in my days. Whoa.
Yep.
I had some negative influences in my days, and I honestly was spending a lot of time and energy figuring out how to deal with the negativity coming from outside and then also from inside. And I think that they magnified each other. And so it was really good to have this week to research and meditate on how do you neutralize the negativity that's around you and within you.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, we always try to, work on something that is helping us to move forward in life. And negativity is something like no matter how much positive mindset you have, the negativity it comes to your mind all the time, especially if listen to the what's going on around you, the news and all the things that they provide for us, all right? Especially the social media.
I know though that when my mental health is really good, when I'm really taking care of my body, I'm eating well and meditating well and exercising well, communicating well, getting time in nature, then it's like I have this beautiful bubble around me, and the negativity can't really penetrate. And when I'm not feeling that way, when I'm feeling vulnerable and shaky myself, then the negativity it's like I have a fertile ground, and someone says one thing and then I'm the one who's feeding that and making it grow and grow.
Yeah, because this is normal. Okay, it's a natural human instinct. When somebody gives you some negative feedback, now you wanted to find all the negative stuff to add it up to what the one negative feedback that you get.
But you say it's a human thing, but I think that the whole point of this is that you can have your instinct be one or the other. And so
it's true.
If we are intentional and thoughtful and we really work on improving our own well-being, then when someone says that negative thing or some negativity comes towards you, you have that instinct. Your instinct is to reject it.
Yeah, I mean that's how the personal growth and development comes along, right? That's how you it's a must. Personal growth and development is a must because that's where you got taught to see the negativity come to you and how to defend it. All right. And that's so important to talk about the negativity because we all have that. We all feel the negative emotions, and most of the people is like all the time. I consider myself a very positive guy. All right, but I have a negative thoughts in my mind all the time. How I deal with it, I just trying to find something else to take my mind out of it or just switch the negativity with something else that actually would benefits to me. All right.
Well, one of the things I really want to talk about today, one of the problems of not addressing the negativity is when we try to just like avoid it or ignore it, is that it can get stored in our body. And of course, the more that we dwell on it, we can be adding more and more layers. That's for sure. And we don't want to do that. But at the same time, I've learned in my many years of life that just avoiding the anger or the sadness or the hurt, the frustration, and just trying to act like I don't mind, because you know me, always cheerful, always, in a good mood. But that's because I'm stuffing it, it down into my body. And I can feel that now as my age gets older. I can feel the repercussions of that, and that's a lot of what I wanted to talk to people about. What do you do instead? of
Yeah.
stuffing it
Yeah.
down, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, I just really want to add that the more it's important to be aware, and that's a good starting point. When you're aware of the negativity, you can start to deal with it. So I wanted to bring this to people's awareness because I think a lot of us are walking around in a costume that everything's fine, right? Do you hear that one? I'm fine, it's fine, everything's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And deep down, it's not, right? And so as soon as you can start to be aware of that, you can start to work with it.
I mean, especially if you
So that
are a
it
man, right?
doesn't, yes, so that it doesn't, impact your relationships, and
Mhm.
you're the person that is negative that people are trying to avoid, and so that you're not, causing these reactions inside your body.
Yeah.
You were saying, especially if you're a
Yeah,
man.
especially if you're a man, because we men, we tend to everything's fine, even if it's not fine.
We women
We
too.
try to avoid. No, women usually talk their feelings,
Okay, fair
but
enough.
we hold our feelings.
Okay.
We hold it a lot, and no matter what, and our answer is just no. We are cool. We're okay. We are fine. But inside of us is like sometimes it's just burning, like a volcano. So let's dive in and give some tips, all right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that I already kind of said them all in the intro there. Really, the first thing is to take care of your own soil,
Mhm.
right? And, I'm the kind of person, I don't know about you guys, but when I start to think negative thoughts, my next thought is, see, there I go again. I'm never going to get a handle on this. I spent all this time and money on personal development and it was for nothing, and like the negativity just snowballs and grows, right? And so coming back to the fertile ground for positivity, how do you do that? Slowing down, making space. I've deleted a lot of apps on my phone this week, watching less TV in general, because I know we talk about the news a lot, but a lot of TV, there's just like bickering and all this
Yeah.
negativity, that just is not helpful. I've taken things off my calendar, tried to delete some of the tasks to do to just create some space for me to slow down, tune into my body, right? Do that, get back to the meditation practice. Take the time to prepare the fresh foods instead of, right? Like when I'm in this negative cycle, that's when I start eating fast food again
Hmm.
because I don't have time. My brain is telling me, you don't have time. You don't deserve to slow down. You don't deserve fresh food. You don't have time for fresh food. You don't have time to exercise. You don't have time to meditate, right? All these negative thoughts, which make my body and my mind fertile for being irritated. No matter who it is, no matter what they say,
Yeah.
right? I'm
Yeah.
irritated. That negativity comes in. And so I hate to say it, but to neutralize negativity, you've got to watch what you eat, hydrate yourself, exercise, and meditate. Surround yourself with your favorite people,
Yes.
right? And put on some good music.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one is very important to choose in the positive relationship. All right. Uh, Look for somebody that actually bring positive to your life. Because we really need to get out of negative state of mind. We know we all have good friends that they has very positive mindset, but we have a great friends that have a really negative mindset. Everything is no, 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 but you love them for to that. But we need to be aware that they're affecting us, because even that we just he's just him, but he's affecting us as well. So we have to be aware of that, so we can focus in our own self,
It,
and to bring our own positivity to outside of us. All right, so we can feel less negative inside.
I've gone through phases of my life where I had whole groups of friends that would sit around and complain and talk about, negatively about pretty much everything.
Pretty much everything, yeah.
Right? And I actually wanted to save time to talk about how to deal with negative people in general, but just being aware that you're in that environment and tuned into it is a great first step.
Yeah.
But I wanted to start with like tuning in, and what do you do when you hear that negativity in yourself? And I talked about slowing down, but also like knowing what it says, right? Really listening to yourself. And for me, it's perfectionism, right? Never being good enough. And so I don't know if you hear yourself saying things, and having people around you. Like I have Tovi, my mom, even my daughter helps me notice when I'm saying something negative or self-critical, right? Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, that was so stupid. Right?
Yeah.
It wasn't so stupid. It was a mistake, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. So just really tune into what are your own thoughts that come up. And so you got to create space for that and listen to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, this thing like we actually criticize ourselves more than people's criticizing us. And when somebody give one negative feedback to us, now we want to find another 100 to match the negativity, so we can feel like, yeah, he was right. Right? And I don't know why we do that. I'm gonna study that to see why we do that.
Yeah. And then also listen for those limiting and like pessimistic thoughts, such as like, oh, I'll never be able to, or I'm no good at, or that'll never happen. That's impossible, right? Anything that like you hear yourself. And I think that if you don't have people who are calling you out, you should ask some people to help you listen for these limiting thoughts or perfectionistic thoughts. And just say it's something you're trying to work on. Could they help you out?
Yeah, I mean, definitely that's where you want to find coaching, your mentors. I mean, you want to find some kind of like a live events for personal growth and development. That's the kind of things you wanted to involve in, so it can help you, to move forward, in the right way, in a positive way. Right?
I can't see the names on the screen that we're on because we're using StreamYard, but someone put in all caps actually, so I'm guessing that's Margaret, who's an expert at hearing these negative thoughts come up in herself or in me. She's a good mentor for me as well. And hearing this thought, I'm no good at that. Actually, I'm learning to get better at that thing. Right? Actually, that is possible. Actually, anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, I did that when we started Awesome Live 101. I mean, I was a computer zero, really bad to typing, really bad to searching anything. And I was asking questions. Like I was like, and my mind was always saying, "Oh, I'm not good at computer. I'm not good at computer." But then I started saying, "You know what? Wait a minute. What do you mean I'm not good at computer? I'm an excellent expert in the computer. I can do this. I just need to know how to do it."
Teach me how to do it, and I'll know how to do it.
And days pass by, months pass by, years along, and now I'm like, I asked some question for some little things, but I'm basically feel like, yeah, I mean, who knew, right? Who knew that I would be, computer savvy. So much stuff I learned in this past year or so, about computer, about how to use it, about all how to do the search and all that stuff, and that's so amazing. But I didn't have the opportunity because my previous job was more like my body work instead, of computer work, right? But yeah, but because my resilience, because my positive mindset, and I keep moving forward, and now it's like it's totally different. It's totally different way.
I love that.
Yeah.
So recognizing your triggers And I think that there's so many, we talked about the media, we talked about foods. So recognizing what triggers you to feel negatively is really, really important. And I think removing as many as you can, giving yourself a bit of a reset, noticing like what at work stresses you out, and then taking the time to resolve that. If it's really stressing you out, if it's really causing negativity, finding ways to resolve that, asking to work with a different cohort, asking to work different hours, asking to travel less, whatever it is that's causing you stress at work, whatever your business is. Looking at, as Toby was saying, the people that you surround yourself, the media that you take in. I think it's a good test of your fertile ground to look at social media.
Yeah.
And notice if you're thinking, good for him, good for her, good for him, good for her, or that's not real, that's not how they really live, that's any kind of negativity. Oh, that's whatever. If you can hear yourself being negative, then you have that space to work on it. But I do want to save time for when you are in the space of a negative person, right? Some of us have them close friends, like you were talking about, or close family. And if they're in your circle, you don't want to avoid your whole circle, right? And you can spend time with other people who are uplifting, but when you happen to be in the space with that negative person, I know for me, sometimes I take it as my own personal responsibility to try and change them and make them less negative and make them more positive, right? And so everything they say negative, I can counter it with a positive.
You can change people,
but you really can't change people. And it causes me stress, and then I think like I wasn't good enough to change them. Right. And so this week I've been researching what to do instead.
The only way that people will change, it has to be aware with what's going on first.
Right. But I think I can make them aware.
I mean, you can even tell people the truth, but they're still not going to listen to you if their mindset is in one way. Right. That's why, again, I gotta say, you gotta have the right tools that will get you from this side of mindset to the other side of mindset. You gotta have the tools, and the tools is so simple. It's just how you're using it and the way you're using it, right?
So, so if their mindset is not fertile for my positivity, then it's like my seeds are falling on the wrong soil. So the one I researched, this is the list of things that I came up with. First of all is being secure in yourself, so that their negativity, if they say, oh, you can't do that, I don't let that ferment in me. They say, oh, you can't do that, it's impossible, no one's gonna listen. Then if I'm secure in myself, if I've done my self-work, I don't have to feel their negativity, right? I don't let it permeate into my space. I don't let it settle in me. I don't let it find a place to grow, right?
Yeah.
The second one is to stop judging, and that's a huge one. And I've read some of Gabby Bernstein's book, The Judgment Detox, and it's really, really good. But like I said, I think that I should help those people be more positive. And so that comes from a place of judgment, that the way they're living their life or doing their thing is wrong, and my way is better or right. And so I need to change them, which I'm sure they find as annoying as I find their negativity.
Yeah.
And so just releasing the judgment, letting them be who they are and say what they say, and me being who I am and saying what I say.
Yeah.
And not trying to change anybody.
What you can realize in life that you have the negative people in your life. It is not bad thing actually. It actually is a strain. is
A strength.
is a strength. Yeah,
Mhm.
because you actually you can feed for that negativity and bring something very positive into your life. And
Mhm.
you can actually, every negative thought you have in your mind, if you analyze it, you will figure out why you have the negative thought in your mind, and what can you do with it
Mhm.
to make a positive
Mhm.
a positive influence in life.
Mhm.
All right. And it is possible, because and the reason I'm telling you it's possible because I have so many negative thoughts in my mind that I didn't know what to do with it until I figured out, hey, wait a minute, I can make something positive out of it, and it works.
But you can't if you're not aware.
But you can
If
if
you
you're not aware.
if you
Yeah.
pretend that like, oh, I never have
Yeah,
negative
yeah.
thoughts, right?
You gotta be real with yourself.
Mm.
Like I said, I'm very positive guy. I try to be positive all the time, talk positive all the time. But you know what? I don't think nobody has more negative thought in the mind than me. Seriously. But I know how to control it now. I can control it and negative thoughts. You know what I mean? And that is so beautiful. It's so beautiful I have the power now. I feel like I have the internal power that is just growing and growing
Mhm.
and growing and growing. And
Yeah.
like it's just amazing. It's just
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
The next one is just to, how can I say this? You've been with a negative person, right? How long are you going to let them affect you after you're not with them anymore? Right? So we talked about like when they're with you
Hmm.
and how you can stop judging and just be secure in yourself. But then when you've left that person, you keep replaying it in your head and telling other people, I can't believe what this person kept saying, right? Tovi, we have a viewer says, so how do you control your negativity? You have all these negative thoughts in your
Uh-huh.
head, so how are you in control of them now?
It's depend on how I control it. I just, but it's depend on the type of negativity that I have, or what I'm thinking, in the moment. All right, and whatever I think in the moment, sometimes I even write it out, to write it, and then I'm like, why I'm thinking about that particular subject, and it's so negative. And then we try to, I try to take every word out of it and see what's positive out of any that I can take. I can take. Sometimes it takes hours to just figure out something, right? But then when you figure it out, or when you figure it out, you're like, oh, okay, and just click in your mind, say, okay, yeah, I can move out of it. And most of the time, I go like, can I let this go? I all the time, can I
Can
let
I
this
let
go?
this go?
And then your answer can be yes or no, and it doesn't matter the answer, but can I let this go? And then I repeat to myself like a 10, 15 times. And then while you're repeating it, you start thinking about something else, and they just go away, they just go away. While you repeat it, can I let this go? Can I let this go? And just
Yeah,
and just go. And
think
just
about
go.
that. If
You
you're
know.
angry with someone,
Yeah.
instead of repeating
Hmm.
why you're angry and the justifications, right? Because that's what keeps you angry. That's what keeps the
Hmm.
negativity anchored in you.
Yeah.
And so when you start repeating something else, can I let this go? Can I let this go? You're letting go. You're like untying the knot that's
Yeah.
holding it to
Yeah.
you.
And your brain's already working something else, because your brain's always working. Your brain always working. So if you give your brain something else to think of, your brain will get out of the place where you don't want to be. All right. But you have to be aware of the situation. You want to be not only aware of the situation, but you want to be willing to get out of the situation. Okay. For example, if somebody bring you something negative to you, all right, instead you will find more negativity to add it up to it. She keep talking about, oh, he did that to me. And then you go to the person, oh, yeah, he did that to me yesterday. And then next week, oh, he did that next week. You know what? You wanted to get out of it, because every time you're talking about the particular negative that happened to you, you are feeding yourself more negative inside. You are feeding more anger inside of you, and that it will not be good for your well-being.
You're trying to
You're trying to collect
a bunch
and
of ammunition,
yeah,
basically.
because that's how we do. We every time we have something negative happen to us, we try to feed it with a more negative, just because we don't have the right tools to say, you know what, get out of there as fast as you can. The moment you see something negative happen to you, you want to get out of there as fast as possible.
And you know, Tovi shared one thing, can I let this go? And we've shared actually quite a lot of tools in this particular video and in other videos.
Yeah.
But we didn't come by these overnight, but we did invest quite a lot of time and money into our own personal development. And I know we've shared with you guys about Growth Club and about Insight, right? But that's where a lot of these tools come from. And it's not just sitting in chairs and hearing about it like you do here. We're telling you about these experiences, but you get to sit and experience it. They have activities and games and what did you say? Exercises. Where you actually feel yourself going through these lessons. And once you actually feel it, then when you come home, it's like, I know how to do that. I might be struggling with it at this moment, but I know how to get through this.
Yeah, I mean, progress doesn't happen overnight. Especially when you come with the personal growth and development, is your whole life. Your whole life, you're learning how to make yourself better, how to bring the best well-being to yourself.
That's kind of what life is all about, right?
And is really, that's all life is about, is how can you take care of your mind, soul, and body to live as long as possible, to be as happy as possible, you know what I mean? And also, so you can transfer that happiness, transfer the positivity to somebody else, because you have to share it. Right?
I'm just kind of realizing that I've been doing it kind of backwards, right? Because I never wanted to be selfish. And so it's always about like, oh, I need to be positive so that I can, heal the world and be positive for the people around me. But the more that I'm learning and listening to you right now, is like, the whole point is just for me to be well. That, that's the priority.
Let me give us some simple example right here, right? If your cup is all full, what's going to happen? When you put a water in the cup and you keep putting water in the cup, then the water will, why? It's all full.
Right.
Like,
I keep pouring my water out on other people first.
You put a water in somebody else's cup first.
Yeah.
And then you're not putting in yours. But when you start putting all the water in your own cup, your cup is full, is overflowing. You don't have to do anything else, because that cup, that water will spread to somebody else. It will just spread. If you keep putting water, you can see how far the water can go, right?
Okay.
It can spread the water to somebody else. My mind, I feel like, is a simple thing, because I've been practicing this all the time, but it's not easy. It's not easy to actually be on the state of mind. You have to practice.
Yeah, you should have seen him the other night. It took him a few hours to control his negativity.
But yeah, it happens. Some days it happens. You take stuff too deep, and some days, even Tony Robbins will be having a hard time to get out of negativity sometimes, and it's true. It's true.
It must be true. Anyway, we're about to zip over to the Zoom, the VIP room. We love you all. Thank you for showing up live. Thanks for watching the replay. And catch us on any replays. If you have not watched all of our episodes, they're all on YouTube. Most of them are on YouTube.
Most of them, yeah.
And also, we're adding them to our podcast all the time, which you can find on Spotify, Apple, whatever, wherever you find your podcasts. It's just Awesome Life 101.
But if you're not part of VIP yet, guys, join the VIP because we have another hour that we're going to be talking about
Negativity.
this particular subject. We have more stuff on there to talk about.
But it's not
Um,
just us. You
it's
get
not
the
just
wisdom.
us.
Margaret's in there.
Yeah, it's not just
Joseph's in there.
Joseph. Yeah,
Patrick's in
yeah,
there. Lakeisha's in there. So show up and get
yeah.
your VIP on.
Get your VIP, and we'll talk more about this. Because it's so much information that we have, and that for 30 minutes, we really have to summarize most of the things, so we can talk about in this 30 minutes. But give yourself a opportunity to join the VIP and to join
Yeah.
us another hour, and I'll promise you that you will be in the next level in your personal development. All right.
Love ya.
Love you. Bye bye.
Bye.